Staring down a mountain of raw qualitative interview transcripts is intimidating. You spent weeks collecting these personal stories, and now you have to figure out where to actually begin pulling meaning from the text. Pick the wrong approach to analyze them, and you run into one of two walls. You either flatten out the nuanced human experiences you worked hard to capture, or you drown in so much data that you never actually finish your research. That is the core tension of Interpretive Phenomenological Analysis, or IPA. You have to balance deep, focused attention on individual experiences with the practical limits of your schedule and resources. To manage that tension, researchers rely on three established pathways to process their data: the Individualized Strategy, the Collective Strategy, and the Sequential Accumulative Strategy. There is no flawless method that works for every study. The right choice for your project depends entirely on the logistical constraints you are facing. We evaluate these strategies against three practical variables: your dataset size, your available time, and the level of analytical risk you can accept. Picking an analytical framework is not an exercise in theoretical purity. It requires matching a proven workflow to your physical and temporal reality. Let's look first at the classic or original method of IPA. This is the individualized strategy, and it prioritizes pure, deep analysis above everything else. Here, you isolate the data. You take your very first transcript, read through it, build out the initial themes, and then construct the main themes for that specific person. You do not touch the next interview until this single process is completely finished. By walling off the data this way, you guarantee a deep phenomenological read. You understand exactly what that single participant experienced without their story getting muddied by cross-case comparisons. But that intense focus comes with a steep cost. Processing one document from start to finish before moving on requires massive investments of time and manual labor. If your study includes a large participant pool, this step-by-step sequential approach quickly becomes unmanageable. The bottleneck is simply too tight. However, if you are an early career researcher trying to actually learn the mechanics of IPA, doing the heavy lifting manually is the best way to train your analytical skills. The individualized method treats each participant's transcript as an isolated universe. You sacrifice speed entirely, but you secure absolute fidelity to the source text. If you cannot afford that time penalty because you are managing a large volume of data or using qualitative analysis software, the collective strategy offers an alternative. With this approach, you shift to a parallel workflow. You read through every single transcript concurrently, identifying and pulling out a massive pool of initial themes from all participants at once. Once you have that global pool, you move to the second stage, clustering and categorizing those scattered initial themes into your main superordinate pillars. If you know how to do basic thematic analysis, this will feel very familiar. It is highly efficient and lets you group large amounts of text quickly. The structural trade-off is early aggregation. By pooling the data immediately, you strip away the personal context, risking the loss of the individual participant's unique voice. Since IPA is explicitly designed to interpret specific personal experiences, losing that individual context early on weakens the philosophical foundation of your methodology. The collective strategy operates as a macro lens. It favors broad, cross-case patterns and software integration while trading away minute individual nuances. That brings us to the Sequential Accumulative Strategy, an agile compromise between deep fidelity and forward progression. You start exactly the same way you would in the individualized method. You read transcript number 1 and develop its initial and main themes. The divergence happens on the second transcript. Instead of starting from scratch, you carry over those existing themes. As you read the new evidence, you adjust and refine the previous categories to fit the new data. It functions very similarly to a grounded theory approach. Your thematic structure becomes a living framework that updates continuously with every new document you read. This process allows you to scale up to mid-sized datasets without completely abandoning the line-by-line focus on individual participants. To execute this properly, you need high cognitive flexibility. You have to actively avoid forcing new, contradictory data into your old thematic boxes just because they are already built. If you manage that bias, this approach keeps you moving forward, preventing analysis paralysis while ensuring rigorous evidence checking across your cases. The sequential accumulative strategy is an evolutionary process. You let your themes grow, shift, and solidify organically alongside the incoming data. Now that the mechanics are clear, we map these strategies directly to your constraints. Making the right choice comes down to answering two structural questions. Exactly how many transcripts do you have, and are you relying on qualitative software? First, consider the novice researcher trying to build a solid methodological foundation. If you have a small dataset of 3 to 6 transcripts, and your priority is learning the rigorous discipline of the craft, you must choose the individualized strategy. Next is the agile pragmatist, looking to balance thoroughness with a realistic schedule. If you are working with a mid-sized dataset of 4 to 8 transcripts and need a balance of depth and momentum, adopt the sequential accumulative strategy. Finally, look at the researcher dealing with scale. If you have 6 or more transcripts, strict turnaround deadlines, or are actively running your data through qualitative software, the collective strategy is your most viable path. If you take that collective route, you carry an extra obligation. You must manually double-check your final overarching themes against the individual transcripts to ensure the integrity of your IPA is maintained. Whichever path you take, your final step is writing it down. You need to clearly justify the specific workflow you chose in your methodology section, explicitly citing the logistical realities of your study. A defensible qualitative methodology does not come from chasing a theoretically perfect ideal. It comes from executing a realistic strategy with complete transparency.